Next on We News, the big budget news from Parliament. Tasmanians speak out about end-of-life care and a musical theatre extravaganza. I'll see you very shortly.
Across Tasmania, this is WIN News.
Tonight, Treasurer Peter Gutman hands down his 6-state budget. We're in the black, but debt is on the rise. And the police findings from a fiery end to the election campaign. Good evening, I'm Bruce Roberts. Also tonight, the latest from the harrowing inquest into the death of 4 friends on a fishing trip. Plus, winemaking Tasmania goes into voluntary administration. Treasurer Peter Gutman has found a way to keep the budget in the black but has failed to avoid taking on significant debt. As Meg Sides reports, the budget spends up big on infrastructure, health and education, but savings will need to be made to balance the books.
The Treasurer handing down his 6th budget with the tagline maintaining momentum and investing for growth. He's found a way to stay in the black, projecting a $57 million surplus that modestly increases over 4 years.
It ensures that we build the Tasmania today that we will need for tomorrow. It's a budget that will provide opportunity for Tasmanians.
The opposition gets a chance to explain how it would balance the budget next Tuesday. The government has already adopted one of its policies, a point of consumption tax on online gambling. Meg Sides, WIN News.
And Peter Gutman joins me now from Parliament House. Thanks for joining us tonight, Treasurer.
My pleasure, Bruce.
Now, the budget forecasts modest surpluses, but you've conceded net debt will rise to $1.1 billion by 2023. Why take on so much debt?
Well, this budget's about maintaining the momentum and investing for growth. And we make no apologies for investing in record amounts into infrastructure to build roads and bridges, schools and hospitals, and those in our regional communities that need a hand up with our very strong infrastructure spend to ensure that we can give all Tasmanians the opportunity to share in the benefits of a growing economy.
Peter Gutman, I know it's been a busy day for you. Thank you very much for spending some time with us tonight.
Thanks very much, Bruce.
And while the Treasurer says this is the budget he's most proud of, others are not celebrating, with fears up to 1,500 public sector workers will lose their jobs and concerns the most vulnerable are not supported.
Investment in health and hospitals welcomed, but doctors confused over the apparent silence on stage 3 of the Royal redevelopment.
I guess one of the main concerns we have in this budget is that there's $250 million set aside to build a prison in the north of the state.
Holly Corbett, WIN News.
Fire investigators say a blaze that engulfed a One Nation election campaign vehicle was most likely caused by an ember from a discarded cigarette. Police are not treating the fire outside the Shoreline shopping centre on Hobart's eastern shore on Sunday night as a crime. The fire service says security footage does not show anyone at the back of the vehicle at the time of the blaze. Investigators ruling there is no evidence of a deliberate ignition source. The former owner of a boat involved in a fatal accident just months after he sold it will be recalled to an inquest after new information has come to light. The coroner is investigating the deaths of the 4 friends on a tragic fishing trip in Tasmania South.
Magnus Ritter, Luke Davies, Alexander Drobanak and Anthony Roach headed out from Cremorne Beach on the 16-foot boat in July 2016.
Yesterday, the man who sold the boat to Mr Ritter and his friend had to be arrested and brought before the inquest after he failed to appear. Counsel assisting the coroner says since he gave evidence, new information has come to light and he'll be recalled to the stand along with 2 new witnesses when the inquest continues tomorrow. Sophie Coral, WIN News.
Tasmania's police union is considering appealing after an officer was convicted and fined $750 for assaulting a man under arrest. Constable Benjamin Fogarty was found guilty of punching the man to the back and swearing at him after he became volatile while being taken to Hobart Station. In sentencing, the magistrate said policing is a difficult task, but belittling, denigrating and punching those in custody falls well below community expectations. The Police Association is surprised by the sentence.
This just goes to prove just how difficult policing is, and as was acknowledged during the course of the trial, that sometimes you must swear at people and you have to speak on their level. The future of the officer's career is uncertain.
A leading Tasmanian winemaker has been placed into voluntary administration. Established in 2001, Winemaking Tasmania is the contract winemaker for more than 30 vineyards and cider labels across the state. Administrator Pitcher Partners says it's working with creditors, the business and staff to provide as much certainty as possible. We're being called on to confront our fears and start important end-of-life discussions with our loved ones. As part of National Palliative Care Week, members of the community are sharing ideas for approaching the taboo subject.
It's a matter of life and death, deciding what to do about end-of-life care.
We refuse to use the words death and dying and died, and we have all sorts of phrases to mean those things.
Imogen Elliott, Win News.
And after the break on Win News Tasmania this Thursday, tourism leaders converge on Launceston to plan the future. And all singing, all dancing, the musical theatre festival ready to get your toes tapping. Tasmanian experiences are the main talking point this week of the annual State Tourism Conference. More than 350 operators and industry representatives attending, gaining some inspiration and insight into the market.
In the context of a global trend where people are looking at Tasmania and seeing what we've got and I guess trying to replicate some of our success, it's really important that we're constantly reevaluating.
A brand new 4-day festival has Tasmanians tapping their toes. The Australian Musical Theatre Festival will engage thousands of locals and interstate visitors alike.
Whether you can act, sing, direct dance. For more information and tickets, visit the festival website. Eleanor Walsh, Win News.
It's time for sport with Amy Duggan, and AIM sports fans have an absolute treat in the state's northeast this weekend.
They sure do, Bruce, with the Tasmanian Netball League to host a match in St Helens, and Lauderdale questions the respect it's shown from rival TSL clubs. TSL football first tonight, and they're currently a top 3 side, but Lauderdale doesn't believe it gets treated that way. Bombers coach Darren Winter has questioned the respect his team receives compared to rival clubs.
With just one loss for the season, only percentage is keeping Lauderdale out of first place on the ladder. Brent Costello, Win News.
Top flight sport returns to the state's northeast this weekend when Cavaliers host Kingston in a Tasmanian Netball League match on Saturday afternoon.
We always look forward to playing down there. Our coach is from St Helens, so it's really nice to give back to that community as well.
A Launceston runner's celebrating the biggest win of her life after an incredible performance at the Ultra Trail Australia 100. Amy Lamprecht, the first woman to finish the gruelling course.
Back on home turf after taking on the Blue Mountains. This Launceston runner dominating the field of more than 1,000 competitors from across the globe.
That's our sport, Bruce.
Thank you very much for that, Amy Duggan. It's time to say hello to Hayley Francis and Thursday night weather and showers to end the working week, Hales.
Good evening, Bruce and Amy. Yes, you'll want to have the brolly close by tomorrow. We've got showers forecast right across the state. I'll tell you where they'll be the heaviest right after the break. Welcome back. Overnight temperatures slipped below the May average across the north, but we're up to 4 degrees above the May average elsewhere. This magnificent weather shot tonight is thanks to Brian, who snapped this from Snug Beach in the state's south. What a view. Let's have a look around the state today. Wynyard topped out at 15 degrees after a low of 2. Devonport 4 to 15. St Helens topped out at 18 degrees and Swansea 19. On the satellite and synoptic, a northwesterly stream over Tasmania will persist tomorrow as the first in a series of cold fronts moves across the state. 2 more cold fronts are expected to cross Tassie over the weekend, bringing significantly cooler conditions. Now, a strong wind warning has been issued for nearly all the coast except the southeast tomorrow. The warning extends to east of Flinders Island as well as Banks Strait and Franklin Sound. Now, in the north, strong winds with showers and possible storms late in the day. For the east coast, possible showers and an offshore storm at night. In the south, showers likely and the chance of a nighttime storm with winds up to 25 knots. And for the west, strong winds and possible showers with a southwesterly swell up to 4 metres. Let's have a look at tomorrow's forecast. Showers about the north and west extending statewide during the day. Possible thunderstorms in the north and west. Swansea heading for a high of 18, 19 at Hobart. Interstate tomorrow, sunshine for Sydney and a shower or two in Adelaide. And looking ahead closer to home for Burnie, showers continuing across the weekend and possible storms then easing by midweek. For Launceston, showers likely with heavy falls on Sunday. Strong winds and hail expected across Monday, then easing by Wednesday. And for Hobart, showers possible for the next few days with blustery, cold conditions through to Wednesday. So hang on to that, Coco. There's a weekend of inside weather coming up. Bruce.
And there is so much good sport on this weekend, Hayley. Thank you very much for that. And thanks for your company tonight across Tasmania on State Budget Day. We're looking forward to your company with a regular bulletin tomorrow night from 6.
This has been a Win News presentation. Win News, Regional Australia's #1 news source.